What's up? What's up? Good afternoon, or whatever time it is, wherever you happen to be. What's going on? Well, Brittany doesn't have to worry about standing for the national anthem anymore because, of course, she's spending some quality time in her new home. So, hey, that's amazing. How you diss the United States when you want, and then when you need them, you're there begging them. So I don't know. But anyway, well, she gets 9 years to think about it, but we know it won't be that long. There'll be some kind of swap long before that. In the meantime, it was a pretty boring day. Not much going on. Pretty quiet, as has been the rule, not the exception anymore. So it appears that we have the new volume, which is nothing at the moment. Okay, the new action, which is nothing at the moment. Now, again, there's a lot of issues that are going on. We had a big jobs number on Friday. Was it a big jobs number? Well, I would say no. I would call BS on the jobs number. There's a lot of funky stuff that goes on in jobs, and that is not just this administration. So let's never, they're not out. Yeah, they're going to be a loser though. DTD is going to be a loser today. We got hurt on the short Nasdaq at the close. I don't have them yet, but when I do, I probably won't post them until after the call. When I see them, I'll yell it out. Okay. But we got hurt on short Nasdaq at in the last hour. But in the meantime, again, you got the numbers are, numbers don't lie. Only the people that report them do. Okay. And again, this is not an administration of this issue. This has been going on forever. Okay. As long as I can remember, this has been a part of it. Okay, so I don't want you to think that, I'll tell you when I'm picking on this jackass, but this is, so the numbers are funky. Teachers go off the payroll and then they come back on. And, this happens and that happens, and we're replacing jobs that were lost during COVID. So there's a whole mix of stuff, okay, that really makes up these numbers. And, I think that you just have to, take them with a grain of salt, okay? Because they're going to be revised, right? This is the issue. They always get revised. So what's the point? Okay, there is no longer a number that is real, which is why I don't care when the government reports numbers. I don't care, okay? Because when the government reports numbers, okay, they're always subject to being adjusted or changed. And again, it's not this administration, it's not anybody. It's just they're never that accurate. Okay, because again, they're gonna fit them. They're gonna try to fit them as best they can to make them look better, and then they figure, well, you won't notice the adjustment later. Well, Janet Yellen's an idiot, so she always was an idiot. I did one time on TV call her a moron. Okay, but I think that you just have to, again, you have to take everything with a grain of salt, and you have to also remember this. Okay, the economy and the markets don't necessarily have to be correlated and go the same way at the same time. I mean, we now have, I guess they're trying to establish new rules on what a recession is. Now, as far as I'm concerned, we've been in a recession for 6 months, maybe longer, okay, which I've said here very clearly. But now they want to change that. No, it's not 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP, let alone a third one coming up. Okay, so let them call it whatever they want. Okay, the simplest answer is always what? Okay, it's your own spending power. How are you doing? Okay, that's what really determines a recession. How are you doing? Okay, If you're doing great, hey, good for you. I'm thrilled. Okay. But I'll tell you what, I'm paying a lot more for a lot of stuff, and I'd rather leave the money to my kids than pay it in the crap I got to pay for. Okay. So, look, you got a whole bunch of stuff going on, and we still got rates going up, which really counteracts what the bonds are. This is this is where the confusion starts to lie. Okay. Bonds are running up again. Okay. Yet interest rates are going to go up again. Okay. Anybody know what the current mortgage rate is? Okay. I don't even know what it is these days, but I know that, how fast houses in Las Vegas were selling not that long ago. Okay. Well, my neighbor is selling a house, which is beautiful. Okay. And they're not making all that much money on it by the time you finish what they put into it. And it hasn't sold. And it's been like 3 weeks, which in Vegas, that 3 weeks is like an eternity. Okay. 30 years, about 5. Okay. So it's come down a little bit. Okay. So, right now on new construction in Las Vegas, you got to be able to qualify for 7.5. Okay. So again, what does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. Okay. That's what it means. It means zero right now. Okay. The economy's in trouble. The country's in trouble from an economic standpoint. Okay. We can hide from it all we want. We can make all the statements we want about how great everything is. Okay. But once again, we're now talking about monkeypox. Okay. Now, I don't know what the hell they are. Okay. I don't know where I've heard theories, okay, of how they come and where they come and who gets it, who's predominantly who gets them. But is it truly a crisis? They're going to want to run to have me get vaccine for another thing now? I got news for you. Okay. I did get vaccine. I think I got 3 shots, I guess I don't even know, whatever I got. Okay. I wouldn't do it again. Okay. That's the point. Okay. I would not do it again. Okay. I think that we were lied to on what COVID is and was. And if you add up the numbers, you will see that if you added up the cold and flus from previous years until COVID, you'd have the same number by now adding in COVID because of what they subtracted from colds and flus. So I don't know. You tell me. I'm not an expert in this stuff. I'm just reporting how I feel and how I see it. But I don't know. You got rates are going to go up again. And I guess with the big jobs number, they can go up a full point this time if they want, I guess. I don't know. I got 3 as well and still got it. I got it too. I had it. It was a cold. Okay. The truth of the matter is I wouldn't have got tested because I don't take off work and I work alone, so it's okay. But I wouldn't have got tested except I had to travel. So I didn't want to infect others, if there was anything to it. Okay. But at the end of the day, okay, I think that I think that I think it was a man-made disease, as I've said that all along from the very beginning. Okay. No more shots. Good for you. I got news for you. I wouldn't have gone either. Okay. If I didn't have a chance to think about it and rationally look at it. Okay. But, when you look at things that are going on, Denver at one time, one of the hottest places for real estate. And I'm not saying it's not hot anymore, but their sales were off 31% in July. Okay. Year over year. No, I don't know. Does that mean anything? I don't know. What does it mean to you? Okay. It's housing sales were down 31%. Okay. Inventory was up 81%. So what does that mean? Well, I don't know. It doesn't mean anything to me, but certainly I know in my mind that the real estate bubble is bursting. Okay. And, a lot of it was, a lot of the big real estate boom was due to taxes and moving to save taxes. Okay. Me being one of them, but I was always moving here, but I just expedited my total move. Okay. And my citizenship or my residency, excuse me. But, look, we've got debt coming out the yin yang from individuals. I'm not even talking about the government debt. Okay. for individuals. Okay. And, you know, the consumer they may tell you how strong it is, but they're only strong because they can get more money. They can borrow. Okay. And we all know what happens when the consumer overborrows. Okay. Used cars are already defaulting. Okay. Everything, again, just like every other bubble that we've watched, things have started to fall back. Okay. And that is something that we have to just remember. Okay. Again, we know that our economy is not in great shape. When you're paying whatever you're paying for gas, let's just use $5 as an average. Some are paying more, some are paying less. Let's use $5. If you're paying $5 for gas, you're taking a big chunk out of your pocket every week or every month, depending on how often you fill up. Okay, depending on what you do for a living, how much you have to drive. So that's a big bite. Okay, that takes away potential sales from everybody else, right? I mean, it takes away, certainly you're being more conservative at the grocery store. Okay, certainly you're not out, well, maybe you are, but you're most people are not out spending and just buying the things not to buy them. Okay, you know, they're buying more things based on need, not based on desire. So, you know, here we are, right? I mean, so, you know, these are, and we haven't seen half the problems. Okay, that's the next story. Okay, you know, the everything hasn't rolled down yet. You've already got, you know, problems in the UK, problems in Germany. Okay, they don't have enough power. Okay, they're going to have blackouts because they don't have enough power. Okay, I mean, their pricing is at record highs. For their natural gas is quadruple what we are. Okay, so, you know, again, electricity, the power grid, we're not ready for any of this. So why? Well, I ask the same question I ask every damn week. Why aren't we drilling our own oil? Okay, why? Somebody's got to have a logical answer. Okay, somebody here has to have a logical answer of why we're not drilling our own oil. Okay, why aren't we supplying the rest of the world and actually profiting without gouging and taking care of our own? Okay, somebody please give me the answer, because I don't have it. I don't understand it. Okay, it makes zero sense to me what we're doing. And I know we talk about it every week, but I can't help myself. It's annoying. Okay, I mean, you know, the central banking system itself, if you're not aware, goes back to the 1600s in England. Okay, and England ain't in such great shape. Okay, and again, it's just a way to hide expenditures. It's a way to do a lot of things that none of us would vote for if we had the chance to vote for it. Okay, but, you know, again, I mean, there's going to be water restrictions. I mean, again, where are we headed? And what's wrong with using desalination? We could use salt water, you know. I mean, salt water can be made pure. I'm sure you all know that, but if you don't, it can be. It's a pretty simple process on top of it. Okay. Why aren't we doing that? Okay. Why haven't we legalized marijuana federally? Okay. You know, we keep hearing about the problems that we have, and we have the solutions right in front of us. Okay. Why can't we get them to use them? Okay. I know I have some people on that side of the aisle here. Please explain to me. Give me a reason. Okay. Of why we don't use our own assets that we have that aren't even going to affect anything. Okay. If somebody, you know, you got the guts, step up and tell me. Listen, I'm not gonna get mad. I'd like to have the answer. Okay, because the markets are slow. They suck right now. I mean, listen, we've done well. I can't complain. Okay, we're on a pretty good run. Okay, and the day trading's been great. Okay. The day trader's dream wasn't good today. I don't have a number yet, but I will give it when I get it. Okay. But I think the dumbing down of America, I think somebody called it the pussification of America once. I mean, why are we doing this to ourselves? Is there any reason that we're becoming a weak nation? Can somebody answer that for me? Okay. Why do we want to be weak? Why do you want to fit in and be under basically a communist or a Marxist regime? Okay. It's not that expensive to desalinate water. It's expensive because they want to make it expensive. Okay. Remember, I actually know how to desalinize water myself, believe it or not, which it's hard to believe, but I do know how to do it. And I know the process. Okay. But it's always money. Okay. The same reason that pot, what's up there, sir? The same reason that pot isn't legalized. It's about money. Okay. It's about who's going to get the money. Okay. The government, especially this piece of shit administration, wants to pick winners and losers. Okay. They don't want it to be a free market society. They want to pick who wins. Okay. That's why. Okay. Again, remember, they have the power to pick the winners and losers. Okay. And it should, nobody should have that power. Okay. Winners and losers should be decided by the individuals involved. Okay. I mean, the markets, look at the markets for 3 days. We've been flat. Okay. And we're still consolidating. Okay. I mean, basically across the board. Now, it's certainly not a bearish pattern we're seeing. It's probably more bullish than bearish. I mean, we are long. Okay. But when you look at the different things that are going on and how we're managing still to continue in the way that we're continuing, when we could take care of so many of these problems all by ourselves. Okay. And you got to wonder, what it's all about. Okay. You got to wonder what is behind all of the bullshit that goes on here. Okay. Desalination is cheap compared to the Trinidad. Well, of course it is. Listen, again, it isn't that expensive to begin with. Okay. Again, this goes back to winners and losers. Okay. Should be taxing cannabis. They should have it. The cannabis should be federally legalized. Okay. Look at all these companies that are going to probably go out of business. Tilray, CGC, all the little guys that started this stuff are probably going to go bust as Altria and the others move in, and then they'll legalize it. Okay. Listen, Trump was no beauty here either. He should have legalized. He had the opportunity to legalize it. Okay. He should have done it. Okay. But since he didn't, why aren't they doing it now? Okay. This is the problem. Okay. And we should be drilling for oil. We have so much oil that is easily accessed. Okay. Without infecting the environment. Okay. Oh, I got a text. There's my reason. Oh, China's bitch. Well, that is true. He is China's bitch. Okay. Thank you. I'd like to post it if I get it up. I can't get it up fast enough. But again, remember, if you go back over the last 2 years, okay, this administration has picked winners and losers. Okay. This administration has picked who's the winners. Look who's left. Okay. There's no small business left. Okay. There's Walmart. There's Amazon, Google, and Facebook. I mean, there's some other little ones out there, but there's no real competition. Okay. And before it's all said and done, there'll be 5 or 6 companies that'll run the whole country, which they already do. But again, this is like big tobacco and big everybody all over again. Okay. And I'm sick of it. Okay. I mean, ALC, listen, I don't know. I think she's going to be their candidate for president. Okay. Believe it or not. Okay. But I think that when you look at the picture, okay, the picture is very disturbing, okay, of the things that are going on. Again, I can only comment on what I can actually see, factual. And you are putting small business you're putting small guys out of business. Okay, that's for sure. Okay, so you've brought this country down to simply putting in the big guys only. Now, supposedly, it was always my understanding that the Democratic Party was supposed to be in favor of small business, but you cannot tell me that anything that they have done recently is at all beneficial to small business. Okay, nothing they have done has been beneficial to small business, if you ask me. And again, if you think I'm wrong, don't be afraid to speak up. I'm a big boy. I can take it. You know, I get disagreements with people all the time. You know, I don't have a problem with that. I'd like to know. I'd like to have an answer. That's what I'd like to see. Okay, because we could be so much better and so much more productive. Okay, and have so much more money. Okay, which again, it takes money to live, does it not? Okay, it takes money to do your thing. Okay, no matter what that thing is. Okay, and yet they want to keep stripping us of it. And as I told you, the taxes would dribble down, and suddenly there's taxes everywhere now. Isn't that shocking? Okay, anybody surprised that everybody's going to be taxed now? And how do you like this piece of crap bill they're just trying to push through now? Okay, for the inflation that they caused, and they don't care. Okay, you tell me. Okay, again, you tell me about all this great stuff. Okay, and show me. Okay, you know, again, I'm from Missouri. Show me. Okay, so you know we have just a mess that's been created, and you know, again, I don't know why we can't get past the mess. Okay, I don't know what's holding us back. You know, obviously, other than the haters of America. Okay, the squad, which are haters. Okay, Biden, who is an idiot. Okay, along with the vice president. I wonder if their combined IQ reaches 85 between the two of them. Okay, but you know, again, markets are markets. The markets don't care. See, there's the other side of the coin. Okay, markets do what they're going to do. Okay, I can sit here and tell you everything why we should go lower. Okay, but it doesn't really matter, does it? Because the markets have gone higher. Now, anybody here who saw the higher situation, these markets going higher 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, who saw that? Okay, who thought this thing was going to turn around and go crazy to the upside? Okay, I get right. Nobody saw it. Okay, that's the point. Okay, markets do what markets do. Okay, I mean, you know, and you look at some of these commodity markets, they're all over the place. I mean, they're, you know, this morning when I was on RFD, I go, this is like when I read my kids a book, the wheels on the bus go round and around. Okay. We allowed our children to be dumbed down and brainwashed communist side of this year. Well, again, that's our school system. You know, when I started my high school program, okay, you know, and now I can't get back in a lot of these places. Okay, it's amazing. You know, once COVID hit, it made it very challenging, and nobody wants to teach it. Okay, but when my son came home in high school, and at that time, Deerfield High School was the #1 high school in the state. I go, what'd you learn? And I go, are you kidding me? I use better words than that, but you know, you can imagine what I said. And that's when I went to the superintendent and put the program in, because again, I can't take it. Okay. And it's only getting worse. What's up, Brad? Grain markets look like they're crying ready to spring. I think they're going up a lot, the grain markets. I'm short. We're short corn and we're short wheat and we're long beans, but I think they're going up a lot higher. Look, we got a food shortage. I don't care how you want to call it. Okay. There's a food shortage. Okay. And that's it. Okay. And, you know, at the end of the day, you know, they got to go higher, but they can make it tough. You know, remember, you have to remember the entire market. Okay. And how the markets work. Okay. Now, right now, it is my opinion Okay. We have very slow markets right now. Okay. Very slow, especially in commodities. And if you understand farming and the farmers, okay, most borrow tons of money. Okay. They get ripped off on the loan. Okay. They're paying, if you're paying 7, they're paying 9. Okay. If you're paying 8, they're paying 11. Okay. Again, they're paying 2 to 3 points over what you're paying. Okay. For any loan that you would take, they're paying more because they're considered a risk capital. Okay. And now in a thin market condition, especially in grains, because we're kind of in between, right? Right now, from now until harvest starts, every farmer's a weatherman or weatherwoman, weather person. Okay. So they're playing the weather. Okay. They're not playing supply and demand. They're not playing anything else. They're playing the weather. And it's so thin that I think the funds, the big funds, the big commercial funds recognize what I'm telling you now. Okay. And if they can push hard enough, okay, and get the market to break, what's the next step? What happens? Well, what happens is that the banks get nervous and start crapping their pants because they're a bunch of pussies anyways. Okay. And they force the farmers to liquidate, which drops the price even lower. And who do you think is going to be the buyer if they get that to be successful? Who do you think are going to be the buyers, okay, of those products if they are successful at this, what I think they're trying to do right now? Okay. Well, Bill Gates, listen, the governments are trying to buy farmland too. Okay. That's another story. But in this particular case, I'm getting more specific. The big winner is going to be the funds because they're going to be the buyers picking up the pieces. They're gambling now, in my opinion. Again, this is opinion only, but they're gambling now to force a liquidation sale, not of the farm, but of the product. Okay. So they can pick it up cheap, knowing that there's already food riots going on in parts of the world. Okay. Knowing that we're going to be paying $5, $6, $8, $10 next year for a loaf of bread. Okay. Knowing that, yeah, we'll be able to get it, but it's going to be expensive. Okay. And grain prices, I think, are going, remember, I made some big calls on prices. I haven't changed those calls. Okay. But listen, everybody's buying it, but most farmers, okay, they may get forced to liquidate, but they're not going to get forced to sell their land. Okay. That's the difference. But there is, whatever farmland comes up, is buying it. It's being bought by government or by big corporations. And they screw everybody. Okay. Because they can then work cheaper before, right? Big corporations or government can work cheaper to continue to force pressure on other farmers. Okay. Until they put them all out of business. Now we'll see. I don't believe that's going to happen. But again, there are things out there that are very much concerning. Okay. So I bought a freezer filled with beef. Well, again, I don't know how much our beef's going to go. See, here's my last comment, and then we'll get into what some of the markets look like. I don't think beef's going a lot higher. Okay. Beef, I think, is going to be more tied to crude oil. Okay. Remember, if you've got a budget of X amount of dollars per month to fill up your car, to feed your family, and boom, boom, boom. Okay. Well, if gas gets too much higher, you ain't buying steak. You're going to buy pork. And if pork gets too expensive, you ain't going to buy pork. You're going to buy poultry. And if that gets too expensive, you're going to find another source of protein that's cheaper. Okay. Because again, you only got so many dollars to spend. I think, in my opinion, cattle, fats, and feeders have reached as high as they're going to go. Now we're long, and I'm not getting short them, but I don't think there's a lot of room to go on the upside, barring some disease. Okay. So as we look at what's going on around the globe, and here's the dollar, which we're still long dollars, and the dollar's doing nothing. It's sitting in a range. Okay. Look, it's between 105 and 107. Okay. With a high of almost 110. Okay. But it's much stronger. Now, is it really stronger? No. Okay. And somebody, I don't know if I have my notes for later or whatever, but there was a talk about the farmland. The dollar is destroying, a strong dollar is destroying stuff. I go, okay. Another thing that I don't understand. What do you say, Ash? What does the dollar have to do with what products are selling for. Is it if I'm getting lesser dollar, okay, am I not just discounting the price anyways? If my dollar's worth less so I can sell more, am I not just discounting the price? Am I wrong? Again, I don't know. Okay, this is beyond my comprehension, where everybody talks about, oh, we need a lower dollar. Why do we need a lower dollar? What's wrong with a strong dollar? A strong dollar gives you more spending power around the globe against other currencies. Okay, but it is a fraudulent market, so there's another story. Okay, anyways, 105 to 107 on the dollar. The euro currency, which we're still short. Again, it's obviously the opposite pattern. It's stuck in consolidation, still trying to get back below my par, which happened when I was on the golf course. I wouldn't have been a buyer anyways, but that's 3 weeks ago, right? Or so I was in Denver. Okay, but here we are. Look, this is, to me, this is going to 88 cents. Okay, that's my opinion. You know, take it for what it's worth. Okay, I'm short now. It doesn't mean that if we get a rally and it triggers a long, that I'm not going to get long, even though I think it's going to 88 cents. My opinion and my position don't always match. Okay, you know, I don't think this market's worth a shit, in my opinion. Now I'm long. You know, I'm always long equities, right? Okay, and I'm long futures. Okay, it doesn't matter what I think right now. All that matters right now is that the algorithm says it's time to be long, so I'm long. Okay. In the meantime, the euro currency 101.30 to 103. Okay, 101.30 to 103. Okay, and Bitcoin suddenly again not breaking out dramatically, but notice last week we drew in, or a couple weeks ago we drew in our channel. Okay, and it's held the bottom end of the channel every time it's come down. It is rushing up again, and certainly it wouldn't surprise me if it goes back up to the next level. I think right here is probably the next big spot. Okay, you know, 24/7, 25,000. Okay, you get through there, I think you can go to 30. Okay, now we're long crypto now. Okay, so you know, it's just, again, we're playing the algorithm is long and we're long. Okay, and you know I'm long it, as you know, I've said for years that I bought some. Okay, which I'm not making any money on, I'll tell you that. But I've already prepared if I'm wrong to lose it all. Okay, but and right now I'd look at this at 22,000 to 26,000 would be the levels I'd be watching. Okay, the bonds, Zulu Bravo, look, they're kind of consolidating, right? I mean, that's pretty obvious. We're in a pretty strong consolidation pattern. Okay, it doesn't make sense. I cannot get a grasp. I know interest rates are going up. You know they're going higher, but yet the bonds are still holding up, which is illogical. Okay, because they are correlated backwards, right? Bonds go up, interest rates should be going down. Okay, and vice versa. Well, bonds have been steady, but are much higher off the low, yet rates are much higher than they were back here. Okay, so that's kind of a weird situation. In the meantime, we are long, as much as it kills me, and I hate being long. Okay, I would say, you know, 140.16 is support. Okay, and 144 is resistance. Now I'm not a big position. I'm not a big adder on this particular position. You know, it's hard for me to add on a product that I know is at this moment mispriced. The market's not wrong. I just think it's mispriced. I'm already long. I don't really want to add to it. So for me, I wouldn't be a buyer, but I couldn't fault you if you did buy on a pullback, because again, the trend is higher. Okay. So again, I can't fault you if you do buy, right? Okay. The metals, gold. Okay. You know, again, is this going to be the time it finally turns and breaks out? You know, so far, every attempt to run them has failed. Okay. Now we're still short at the moment. I don't know that we'll be short tomorrow. Okay. I don't have the answer. My guess is yes, based on where we got to on Thursday. Okay. We didn't reverse. And then we haven't even recovered back to Thursday. But again, I don't know for sure. Okay. I cannot answer that. So for today, I would say that nothing has really changed. I mean, my resistance is still at 1820. Okay. Where I would right now would be willing to sell more. Okay. And I don't think there's any support. I mean, obviously the first support is going to come in, somewhere around 1780. Okay. But I think that you're probably looking at, 1740. I think we're 1740, 1820. Okay. And that's the way that I would look. That's the way that I would be trading it. And that's, again, that's that, but and it has nothing to do with what I'm willing to buy or own from a physical standpoint. I just bought more. Okay. Again, I don't mind physical. I'm going to hold it forever. Again, I've told you before, I'll never sell it. When I die, my kids will sell it. Okay. I will never sell it. Okay. I mean, I'm not buying. Again, you never put yourself in a position that you're going to have to be forced to sell. Why is oil going down? I will answer that question when I get to oil. I'll be happy to answer that. I see that. Okay. Silver, big move today. Silver's got a much better chance to reverse. Okay. Why? Well, it's broken above the support level or the resistance level we were watching. Okay. It's made a new high from how long ago, right? 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Okay. This is I would be willing to bet that silver is going to change. Okay. Now it's hard for me to confirm with you now, but I would say that supports at about 1980. Okay. That's been proven over the last 6 trading days. That's also where we broke out from. And I would say resistance is probably around 2150 or so. Now I wouldn't be an aggressive seller, even if we stay, okay, even if we stay in short, which I don't think we will. Okay, I don't know yet, but even if we stay short, which I don't think we will, this is not the market I want to continue to short into. Okay, there are times to add into a position, and there are times to watch. And I think based on volume, based on price action, based on everything, I don't think you want to add to your short positions in silver if we do stay short. Okay. And I'm going to say we probably won't, but if we do, I wouldn't want to add anyways. Okay. It's much stronger right now than gold. Okay. So again, right now we are short, but I would not be at all surprised if tomorrow at 3 o'clock in the morning, you get a reversal. Platinum has looked pretty good as well. And platinum has actually looked the best. Look at suddenly. Now, again, it's only at $940. So it's not like it's, booming, but it did hold the bottom at 800 and something. And now it's moving up. And I would suspect that 975. Now, we don't trade this anymore because it's not liquid enough for us. Okay. I do buy it personally. Okay. And, in physical form. Okay. But again, it looks pretty solid. I would think we were long, and certainly I'd look to be a buyer at 920, 900. Okay, but this is something I wouldn't really expect you to trade. What do you say, Bruce? I would rather you, if you're going to trade it, I'd rather you buy it and just buy coins, okay, or bar it, whatever. I'd rather you buy it and store it, but that's up to you. Okay. Copper is once again, remember when I said that I didn't like, even though we were short here, I didn't like this resistance level? Remember that? And boom, we popped up, we found a new one. Well, I don't like this one either. Okay. I would suspect that this has got a fair chance to change as well. Okay. This did actually take out a recent high. Now we're kind of stuck in consolidation. It's very narrowly traded right now. Okay. It's in really tight consolidation. I think it's 346 to 360. But again, I would not, if we did stay shorted, I would not be an aggressive seller here either. Okay. I believe that there's a greater probability that it will now rally from here. Okay. Even if it goes down a little bit, I think there's a greater probability that it'll at least test, 380 or so before it's all said and done, even if it's going lower. To me, it's setting up as much too bullish of a pattern right now. So I would not want to, again, there's times to be aggressive. There's times to be passive. This is not a time to be aggressive in my views. Okay. The grain markets, it's amazing. We're just really stuck in consolidation. Okay. Again, as I said earlier, the wheels on the bus go round and round. Okay. Here we are. Okay. It's stuck. Okay. It's stuck in the middle. Okay. It made one spike low for whatever reason. It had a couple of spike highs for whatever reason. And here we are. Okay, we're just hanging around, right? Now again, this is the point, and I don't know what the number is at where banks are going to panic. Okay, but that still goes into my equation. Okay, we're short. Okay, now I hate being short this right now. There's times I don't mind it. I hate it right here, but the market tells me that we're like 590 to 630, 590 to 630. We're kind of middle of the road. And I am not adding to my shorts here. Now, again, sometimes my opinion will get me in trouble. I have the core position on, just like I'm supposed to. Okay. I mean, mine's done by CTG as well. So I don't get the choice to say, oh no, I don't want to do that one. I got to do them all, just like everybody else. Okay. But in my eyes, right? I mean, trust me, if we were to number like $3 and I could be long, I'd buy it. I wouldn't care. I'd put it away like a savings bond. Okay. But I think you're right now, like I said, 580 or so to 590 to 630. But I think we're going way up here before. So I think we're going into the $10 over range. Okay. That's my opinion. But that can be a month, 6 months from now. Eventually this food shortage is going to play. Okay. Because we're already short. It's not like we're not going to be short. It's not like suddenly magically we're going to have a sudden supply. And I got news for it. I didn't say anything about natural gas yet. Okay. I haven't gotten that far yet. If you'd let me get there, I'd get there. Okay. I've not even gotten to that point. Okay. Right now, natural gas is about 5 things away, 6 things away. No problem. Okay. I got an order. I'm going right down the list. I do the same every week so everybody can follow. Okay. I go right down the list here. Okay. That's why they're in this order. Okay. Obviously, I prefer when they're in alphabetical order, so that I can just easier to find for me. And in fact, if you look at what I do, look at myself during the day, okay, I have this list up. Okay, everything's in the proper order, but here we got into a habit. So, anyways, so we'll see what happens with corn. Okay, again, if we don't have a big crop, and even if we have a big crop, I don't think it's going to be big enough. Okay. And I'm hearing a lot of bad stories in certain parts of the world now. Obviously, those certain parts always have bad. I don't know what's going on in, I think, Illinois, Indiana, and Kansas. Somebody give me an update of what looks like in Illinois, Indiana, and Kansas. Okay. Because that's where the biggest comes from usually. Soybeans, which were long. Okay. Corn, and so they look like the same damn pattern. How did we get long this? Well, it was one big update that triggered a long. Okay. And we're kind of in the middle of a range, right? We're at $14. We almost got below my 13. All right. But again, I think beans are going to be in the 20s. Okay. But again, right now they're just ugly. Now we're long now. Okay. So let them run. But what's the difference in pattern? The only difference in pattern is the price, is the range in price, which is 13.35 to 14.95. Okay. But if you did the math and multiplied out the difference in the two contracts, you'd find that the ranges are about exactly the same. Okay. So where's my farmers in Indiana and Illinois? Come on, tell me, give me an idea of what's going on there so I can report. That's how I get my news from you guys. I don't think I watch the, Scott asked me on RFD today, he says, what's the report going to be? I said, what the hell do I know? I said, I'll tell you what, they're going to price everything in on Wednesday and Thursday. Okay, that I can tell you. What the report will be meaningless, in my opinion. Okay. And wheat, which we're still short now, this is like a bottoming type of pattern. Okay. Now it certainly can break much harder and go down, but I don't see how much more it can go down versus how much more can it go up. Okay. I know you're a Jayhawk, but you live in Stanford. Okay. You can't tell me what the ground looks like out there. You can't tell me what you're expecting for your crops. Call your brother. He can tell me. Okay. He's still there. Okay. So, we're still short. Now, again, I'm not an aggressive seller of any grain market, and not because I don't want to sell, not because I have an opinion, but we're at certain prices right now that I could only see slight movements to the downside, but devastation to the upside if I'm short. Okay. Yeah, I'm not a Midwestern anymore, not even at heart. Those guys are too much criminals down there, too many taxes they charge. Okay. But of course, where you live, it's the same, it's worse. So I guess, yeah, if I live where you did, I'd be still a Midwesterner too, in heart. But like I said, look, Could we go lower? Of course, for sure. So I'm assuming we're going lower. Now, I don't think there's a lot of room to the downside, but I do think there's potentially a lot of room to the upside. And we can see in this pattern here, we were as high as almost $14. Okay, we're at 8. Okay, so, for me, I'm short. I'm not adding down here for sure. Would I get it short at 14 again? Yeah. Okay. Listen, I saw Minneapolis winter wheat one time traded at $21 in 2008 on a major short squeeze. Okay. They're all criminals in Vegas, but the taxes are cheap. Okay. No. I don't care about news from Ukraine. Okay. I don't care. Every week you keep telling me you want to buy wheat. How would you get done if you bought the wheat where you wanted to buy it, big boy? Okay. Why do you keep arguing with me every week? Okay. You're not arguing. I'm just kidding. I'm busting a little bit. But again, let the price say, wouldn't you rather pay $8 than be puking it out at 6 if it goes down there? Okay. I don't care what the news says. If you read the news, the stock market would be in half of where it is right now. Okay. And the grains would be in Pluto. Okay. So again, anyways, this pattern looks fairly solid though. It looks like it may have found the bottom. It doesn't mean they're going to rally, right? Finding a bottom and then working off of that is the same as finding a top and working off of that. Okay. And that goes into my theory in the cattle markets. Okay. Feeders have very bullish action here. Okay. Very bullish pattern. Okay. However, okay, I don't know. I don't think there's a lot of room, barring a disease or something. I don't think there's much room more to go higher. Now I'm long and I'm not getting short, right? Just because I don't think they can go up a lot more. I don't think they're going down. I think really they're going to trade off of crude oil. Okay. I think that is really what you're seeing is basically when crude oil has a big rally, typically you'll see cattle go lower because that's, again, it's just a budget issue. Okay. Now, it was interesting because when corn was higher early, normally feeders are a little bit lower when corn is higher because, feeding them, but they were both higher, which again is not necessarily logical, but it is what it is. In my eyes, look, we're long. I wouldn't want to be an aggressive buyer here just because I don't think there's a lot of room to the upside. I go back to when feeder cattle was at 240. Once upon a time, there was a disease, and fat cattle which is live cattle, was like at 175, and feeders were like 240. And every day I was doing taping. That was before RFD went live TV. Every day I tape, and at the end of the tape, I'd say sell, because there's no way they can keep going. I think we've reached that pinnacle, but I'm not ready to sell. Okay. I just look at it like if they came back down to 175, I'd buy them again. Okay. And I would trade out of this position, but I wouldn't be accumulating too much long here because I don't believe there's much to go up in either the fats or the feeders or the fats, although they both look terrific. Okay. The patterns are terrific. But again, I would suggest that you're looking much better here. And that's probably, in my eyes, the peak. Now, what can change the peaks? Well, obviously, we know their costs are a lot more higher. Okay. The input's a lot higher. But again, how much can the consumer afford to pay? Okay. So that's going to keep down demand, right? So, and hogs, which are the other white meat, right? Okay. Now, hogs had a nice little rally. Okay. But I think that the hogs, I've said many times before, are probably between, 92 and 105. And remember, as we go into the winter time, hogs are going to come down in price. If we go look here, I'm going to go back to this chart for a minute here, just to share with you this for real quickly. Okay, let's look at hogs, right? So October hogs are 100, which is very high for October hogs, which is okay. It doesn't matter. It is what it is. Okay. But if we look at the market, so here, so you got October is 100. Okay, December is 89. Okay, they don't pick up again until February. Again, okay. But 89, I can remember December hogs being under 50 cents. Okay, now they're at 89. Okay. The feeder cattle actually is in a very bullish formation, okay, which is cheaper, more expensive, versus the live cattle, which is kind of choppy, but still in a more bullish formation. Again, so the demand is good, okay. The buyers are there, but again, it's going to come down to a budget issue, which is why, again, we're long, number one, but why I think that there's a limit to how much higher they can go. To me, it's not like a stock that's going to explode or a future that's going to explode in one direction. To me, this is a straight math issue now. It's a math problem, okay, which comes down to how much can I afford, okay, and how does it fit into my budget? Natural gas, which we're still long, okay, and look, I get it. It's been just choppy, looks horrible. Maybe it'll change today. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to change today or not. Okay, that answer I don't have because I don't see it yet. But it doesn't look great. But there is some heavy demand. Okay, and I can see that a pop, and you saw them try to run them earlier today, and then they fell apart a little bit. They're not galloping right now. They're just kind of churning, which means to me they possibly are setting up for another huge move. Right now, you're like 750 to 850. Okay, and we're at the very bottom. Now we could reverse here. And truthfully, I don't know what I want. I know what's going on around the globe. Okay, and you are seeing a weakening demand, but we are going to be coming into, as we leave hurricane season, before you know it, it'll be fall, and we'll get some cold snaps. And of course, we'll get one cold snap, and there won't be enough. They'll burned off too much, and there'll be there'll be a fight to find more. Okay, although we have plenty, but again, it's having it refined, having it ready to go. Okay, crude oil, nice recovery today from the bottoms. Unfortunately, because we're short. Okay, why is it going down? Well, there's a lot of reasons it's going down. People are stopping using it. Okay, you still, although price discovery leads the market. Okay, supply demand are a component of any consumable good. Okay, so that's why oil is going down, because we're using a lot less of it. Okay, now I don't give a rat's one way or the other. I drive when I want to drive, right? But I don't drive that much. Okay, remember, people are working at home. Okay, so they're not driving as much. There's not as much consumption. And now when you make it a budgetary issue, okay, when you got to decide whether to feed your kids, okay, or to drive your car, what are you going to do? You're going to feed your kids. Well, most people would feed their kids first. Okay, so you have to make that decision. Okay, so you have to cut back somewhere. So demand is way down. This is not, it has nothing to do with anything but strictly a demand factor. Okay, is what's driving the price action is certainly driving it lower. Okay, and maybe people are betting on the election and betting that it's going to be a big blowout by the red, and that they're going to go back to trying to get oil production in this country. There's going to be a lot of reasons. Price is telling us. Okay, price is telling us that it's going lower. Okay, now does that mean that we're not going to go back up again? Well, again, obviously, certainly the election could change that, and I don't know how it can, again, because they would only have the House. Basically, they're not getting 60 seats in the Senate. Okay, so, but it could slow some of this down. But again, people buy online, which Ash just said, which is, listen, I don't go to the store, I buy everything online. Okay, I buy right from Amazon. I buy 99% of what I buy other than groceries from Amazon. Okay. Meantime, we're still short. I would say crude right now is probably 86 to 93. Okay, 86 to 93. Cocoa, which we're still short as well. Look, this has been like getting a tooth pulled with no Novocaine. Goes nowhere. Just every day, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Look, it's $22.40 to $24 on it. Again, it's not nothing to think about. Cotton, however, is stuck in deep consolidation once again. And again, I think that the soft commodity markets, my understanding is we're going to be short cotton too. Okay. Now, again, can we live without cotton? I don't know. Can we? Okay. But, I know in the guys that I do business with, they ain't got none. Okay. They got zero right now. Okay. So, but yet prices are going down. Okay. So demand, okay, followed by maybe they got priced a little bit too high. In the meantime, we're still short. In the meantime, I'd look at this, 95 is kind of like the pivot. So it could be 95 to 100 or 90 to 95. or just 90 to 100. I mean, it's really untradeable anyways right now. Okay. And sugar, same thing. We're short sugar, but it's just in a pathetic pattern right now. Okay. It's up at the top end, and certainly I don't necessarily care for this action, right? When you're in consolidation, you start getting some ascending action into what it was a downtrend. That could be the impetus that could trigger a reversal at some point. Okay. Never like to see that. If you're short, you never want to see any ascending action. Any rallies you want to see, you want it to be straight up, not gently higher. Okay. And OJ, which, excuse me, we're long, which is doing beautifully until today, but that's coming, right? We know certain things are pretty much automatic. Okay. Thinly traded commodities, especially in the softs, they get too carried away on one side or the other. It's almost an automatic. They're going to come back down. They get too slow. It's almost automatic. They're going to go back up. And then they'll make a decision. I mean, certainly you went from 152-ish to 180, okay, in 2 weeks. Did you think it was going to go to 400 before ever having any pullback in here? Now, it's not tradable. We have it in our portfolios. You cannot actively trade this product without going broke. Okay. And coffee, okay, look at the pattern. I mean, now we're short. This is great action for shorts. Okay. You get these spike rallies and they tank, and it takes them one day to take it away. Okay. And again, they could break down. I could certainly see them going back to 195. I could see them going back down to 175. Okay. Overall, I think they're going a lot higher. Again, I don't think this commodity move is over yet. I think the thin volumes that they already start with and added in more thin with money trying to push creates some issues in here. Okay. So we'll see what they look like from there. But that's, again, this is good action for a short position. Okay. Just by simply, it has not shown at any one point an ascending view that looked like it was going to change direction. Okay. It's in simply spike up, spike down. Okay. And that's one of the things you start to watch. Okay. Because that really more dictates direction. Okay. It doesn't work 100%. Nothing works 100%. Okay. But that's kind of what you're watching, and what you see in these markets, okay, is very thinly traded, which makes them easier to be pushed around a little bit. Okay. And when I say pushed around a little bit, what that really means is that there's not manipulation. There's some forcing of some hands trying to make something happen. Okay. And that is what market makers do. That's what I did. Okay. Where there's certain like resting stops. You don't know whose they are or exactly where, but because most people are lazy, you can bet your ass that if somebody's long coffee, their stop is right under here, probably. Okay. Or somewhere near there. And if they're short it, their stop is right up about here. So if they get close to either one of those sides, market makers are going to run it through. Okay. Even at a loss to themselves for the moment, realizing that it will probably reverse back down the other way or the other side of the direction. And that's when you learn to understand how the markets function. That's why placing your stop is so important when you use stops. Now, I only use stops just when I'm day trading. Okay. I never use stops at any other point. Okay. But when I'm day trading, we're very specific on how we set those stops. And we're day trading on a 4-minute cycle. Okay. And we've been knocking them dead. Even survived a jobs number, with a break-even day. So in the meantime, all right, let's move on to part 2. Okay. And let me stop this recording and I'll get the next one started. Give me a second. Uno momento, por favor. Okay, thank you, dear. Okay, let's go get the next one going. And what's up for those just tuning in? Welcome aboard. It is the Monday Night Call, which has become the Monday Marathon. And, obviously we go a couple hours and, through different components, but I do break it down so that if you want to listen to the recording, you don't have to listen to it all over again. But again, the Fed. What a joke. What a piece of crap organization there. Okay. Criminals at their best. Okay. But yet they got it through, right? The Rothschilds, JP Morgan, all the beautiful people in the world. Okay. In the meantime, okay. Now hiring people that show up. I mean, this is what we're down to. This is that big fancy jobs number that we just watched. Okay. Give me people that show up to work. Okay. Everywhere you go, there ain't a place you can drive by that doesn't have help wanted signs. There's not a fast food restaurant. There's not any place you can go, even with business down, that isn't looking for people. Okay. And of course, when California was a red state, it had the strongest middle class in the world. Now that it's a state is blue, the middle class is destroyed, and it has the highest homeless and poverty rates in the country. And does anybody know where the highest amount of homeless in California is? The highest amount in California has the highest amount because it's warm. Okay. I think Vegas might be number 2. We got a whole underground city here, homeless. But does anybody know where the most homeless reside in California? Nancy Pelosi's district. True story. Okay. And just my little Biden quote of the week: cheated in law. And these are all true. Okay. He cheated, he got caught. Everything he did, he got caught. Okay. There's no doubt this guy's a great, but boy, he sucks at it. But yet he got elected president. How about that? Okay. I mean, are you kidding me? But I mean, I don't understand how anybody could have voted for him. I can see why people didn't vote for Trump. Listen, I get the fact that he got a big mouth. Okay. But this guy is a racist. He don't do anything good, in my opinion, and never did before he was president. But anyways, Vegas, tonight is the deadline for the early bird special. Okay, either for the live stream or going to Vegas live, one of the two. And I will be teaching a money management skill that will never be taught again. And I've threatened to teach it, but it's very complicated. So I can't. I have to have everybody's undivided attention for an extended period of time so I can teach it properly. Okay, it'll be a one and done. Okay, California pays the homeless every month. Yeah, that's true. Drugs and needles. You're right. Listen, California's budget, 70% goes to illegals. The other 30% goes to homeless, and then the other 100% because they sell more, right? Okay. All right. So again, as always, public servants, military, I love you guys. I love all you guys. I mean, seriously, I got stopped the other day by a cop. I wasn't speeding. I didn't think, but he said I was. I said, okay. I said, I'm sorry. I said, thank you. Before you give me a ticket, just thank you for your service. So he let me go. Okay. But really, the truth of the matter is that this country couldn't exist without these people. Okay. And remember, okay, the Badger's stepson, for those of you who remember the Badger, was a career military, could have been a general, decided not to stay. Then he could have become the chief of police of Beverly Hills, decided not to do that. And he took a job that pays 10 times as much as a security guard, making 10 times what he ever made in his life. Okay. I got to thank you. Seriously, public servants, you guys are the best. It's a tough job. And not only do you have to worry about the criminals, the killers, you got to worry about the politicians that want to end your jobs. The Great Recession. Okay. Facts versus denials. Look, I'm telling you, you can define a recession any way you want. Okay. The bottom line is, if you look at your own checkbook, you look at what you're spending, that'll tell you if there's a recession or not. We don't have to go through. I don't need the Federal Reserve to tell me that I'm paying a lot more for goods and I got a lot less money in my pocket than I used to have. How's that? Okay. To me, that's a recession. I don't know if it is to you. To me, that means it's a recession. Okay. America's strong dollar is hurting everyone else. Again, I still waiting for an explanation. I said this earlier. Where's my explanation? Okay. Why should I be upset that my dollar is strong, even though it's really not strong? Because, of course, why? Because the Federal Reserve and the fiat currency system is the most fraudulent system that there ever was invented. Okay. There is nothing more fraudulent than the central banking system globally. Okay. Because all they're really doing, remember, why does a company offer a secondary on their company? Why, when When they offer you a secondary, which means they're cutting your value, why are they doing that? Okay. What is the reason for that? They need money. Okay. Well, what do you think this dollar manipulation is? Okay. Or it's not manipulation, it's because it's a free market trade. But what do you think this fraudulent is about? They need money. Okay. That's how they get money. They reduce the value of the currency. Okay. Why do you think everybody who said, well, China's going to go after all are going to dump all of our bonds? Does anybody ever here really believe that China's going to ever liquidate their bonds? They're screwed. You know what happens if China tries to liquidate the bonds? You know what the US does? Okay, they devalue the currency or the default on the bond. Really? You think China doesn't know that? Okay, this is ridiculous. Okay, GOP governors send buses of migrants to DC and New York City with no plan. I love this. This makes me so happy. Okay, that they're sending busloads of illegals from the border right to Washington DC. And what do they do? What does the mayor in Washington DC want? Anybody know? Anybody see that? What do they want? They want the National Guard. Yeah, sure. It's okay when it's in your neighborhood, okay, but not in mine, right? So they're sent. I think there's like a total of 6,500 or something they've sent so far. Okay, and I hope they keep sending them. Okay, because again, this illegal immigration has got to stop. Okay, they're letting in criminals. They're letting in killers. They're letting in drugs. Okay, look, you want to come in legally? Great. I got no problem with it. Okay, but if you're going to be illegal, then you deserve to be punished. And they make it so you can't even punish them. I told you last week, 160 out of 156 they arrested in Arizona, 116 were already convicted felons in the United States of America. Okay. New York City and DC crying. Yeah, good for them. Let them keep going. Okay. The World Series of Poker player charged with spoofing gold market. This is a big hedge fund guy. Now, again, this is the difference between spoofing and manipulating. Okay. Spoofing is creating something that doesn't exist. Okay. You're trying to create a value. We've all done that. If you've ever sold anything of your own, or your house or car, you're creating a value. Okay. It's funny. I'll give you one quick story because it ties into this. My daughter lives in San Diego now, and she cries every paycheck. Okay, so I didn't tell you to live there. Okay, and she was in to visit her mother and me last week, and she wants to get a new car. And I said, Sammy, please don't go buy a new car now. You don't just keep putting the money away. You're making a fortune. Okay, you've advanced in your job. You've been in the same job you started with. Save your money. Save your money. You'll have plenty of time. Okay. She said, but they're offering me. They're going to give me $18,000 for my car. I said, 18,000. I said, I'll tell you what, if they'll write you a check for 18,000 for your car without you buying a car, I'll buy you a new car. Okay. Give me the 18,000 and I'll buy you a brand new car. I said, they're spoofing the price. They're taking you from one to put to another. It's the same as every other part. Okay. If I create a bid, if I'm in the pit, okay, and I create a bid that I don't necessarily want, I might have sellers at other points in the pit. Okay. It's spoofing, not manipulating. There's a huge difference. Both are supposed to be illegal, but of course, Hillary Clinton had no problem when she was spoofing the market. Okay. So again, we have to define who is actually being charged, but this is what the whole JP Morgan trial is about. Okay. I know what it cost. I can't wait to see it. Okay. 250,000 immigrants is an issue. 8 million is a demographic voting. Like, that's true too, right? I guess same as the bank story, right? If you owe a bank $1 million, they own you. If you owe them 100 million, you own them. Okay. Anyways, our words of wisdom from our friend Connie, who is always on point. Plan ahead. Okay. Now, hopefully, you guys have been around long enough that you've been planning. Nobody here should be surprised at what's going on in the economy. Okay. Nobody should be surprised at what's going on with the prices and the inflation. We talked about this stuff years ago. Okay. The day after the election, we talked about this stuff. Okay. So nothing should be a surprise. Okay. And as I told you, you're going to be taxed. Okay. Even if you're under 400,000, you're getting taxed anyways. No matter what they say, you're getting taxed. Well, you're planned for it. then it wouldn't be such a big price. Okay. And she had so many words of wisdom, and so many states of the union, I couldn't get them all in, but 87,000 new IRS jobs added. They're coming for you. Well, again, I don't know that they're coming for us. Okay. More so they're just collecting paychecks. Okay. And of course, the gas, the retail gas. Okay. This is when Joe canceled the pipelines, and this is you, and you can just get your 50-cent discount. I mean, just look at that. Is that not disgusting? Would you not like to have taken the money you spent on gas in the last year and put it in your IRA? Okay. Wouldn't that have been a better use for it? Okay. Thanks, Connie. As always, great stuff for me. Okay. In the meantime, I've been bitching for an hour, and you can tell my voice is already starting to crack. I'm so wound up. I'm going to take my blood pressure. But in the meantime, my last bitch of the day, well, maybe not. San Francisco president Mary Daly. I don't feel the pain of inflation anymore. Yeah, well, if I was making $420,000 doing nothing and had no expenses, I wouldn't feel the pain of inflation either. What a moron. Who says this? Okay. Can anybody tell me what kind of moron says even if you feel that way, issues those words in a public statement? Can anybody give, you guys aren't very helpful today. I put out about 8 questions. I've got an answer to any of them yet. Okay. What moron says that I don't feel the pain of inflation? Okay. I guess it's the same morons that took a raise during COVID when people couldn't work. Okay. I guess that's who it really comes down to, right? Okay. Obviously, we have the government, okay, and we have the poor people, which they're trying to make us poor, obviously. Okay. But I don't know how anybody could say that. That is so ridiculous. It makes me so angry to even read it again. All right, let's get back to business. I can't take it anymore. All right, anyways, the Dow, we use the future. If you're new, Yankee Michael, and that's because the futures are more liquid. It trades 24 hours and it actually trades. Okay, we're still long. We're up here against, again, we're basically doing nothing, right? You got 32,000 or 33,000. My apologies, 32,300 to 33,200. Okay, but right now you can see there's resistance right around the 33,000 level. Okay, but look at the ascending pattern. Remember, we talked about this earlier. Ascending. Okay, with the exception of a couple little dips, you've held this 45-degree angle as a trend going higher. So why would I believe, okay, that they're going to sell off? I don't care what the economy is. I can't worry about what the economy is. It has no bearing. All I have today is a pattern that looks pretty damn good. Looks like it wants to break out again. Now, it could fail, but why would I want to be? I don't want to be the first to get short. Okay. You know why? You know what happens to the people that are first to get short? Okay. Any of you know what happens to people who are first to get short? Okay. They might make money, but they never make as much as they should because they're so excited they make some money right away that they get out long before the move's finished. Okay. They don't give the move enough chance to work. That's why you don't want to be the first to get short. Day trader's dream. I just got the results. Minus 96 for the regular, minus 518 for the big. Okay. You can take the NASDAQ for that. Okay. Anyways, so we got 32.3 to 33.3 basically. Okay. The S&P Echo Sierra, same pattern. Okay. Not as crisp and as clean. And in fact, what did we say last week? It went up too fast here. Sideways action is being called for. Now look what's happened. We've gone dead. For 3 days, we've been in the same, almost the same closing price. Okay. Now this looks like it wants to go higher. Now there's still more room to go sideways. There's room to go lower, but I don't think the trend's going to change here. I think that you're looking at probably 4,200, which the captain has been clamoring for days. Okay. And I think you're looking at really probably 4,100 to 4,200, but you could probably even squeeze up a little higher. Well, 40, that's 4,100, pretty good. 41 to 42. Okay. And we're long. Okay. And have been long for quite a while. Okay. NASDAQ, again, as we said, remember, if we remember the angle of the best angles of movement, usually around 45 degrees. So when you get too far off, you can assume either some retracement or some consolidation until it catches up. So basically, the NASDAQ consolidated, broke up a little bit, and now is consolidating again. Okay. And again, I would expect that to continue. I would look here, thinking probably 13.6 at resistance and support's probably around 12.8. Okay. Now again, I'm long, and I will trade them on either side when I'm day trading. Okay, but I'm not an aggressive buyer here. Okay, because I believe that we're going to see, and again, this is the part, right? When is it going to happen? I believe there's a 50 to 60% haircut coming. But again, that could be a year from now. That could be tomorrow. It can't be tomorrow. But again, I'm not trying to pick the top. I'm long out the kazoo right now. Fortunately, I'm hedged in my equities, so that takes away a lot of the pain of being long something. Okay, and then of course the Russell, Romeo Tango Yankee, which has been very strong. Okay, now it's noticeable how they rotate. Okay, from between indexes, strong week. So right now, the two strongest of the bunch are which are the two strongest markets right now we have? Okay, what do you think? NASDAQ and Ruddy, IWM, Dow and Ruddy. That's what I got. The Dow and the Russell, to me, are the strongest. Okay, they've had the least amount of deviation throughout all this. Okay, not that it matters, but notice how clean the Dow is. Notice how clean the Russell is versus the chop and the chop shop. Okay, and again, what does that usually mean? It's hard to say. Okay, normally if it was just the Dow, okay, you would say that we were looking for a sell-off, okay, in the general markets, because normally when the Dow is the strongest, markets aren't very strong. The divergence, the S&P, on the way up, outperforms the Dow, always. Okay, in fact, what is the spread today? 207,000 versus 170,000. So it's about $40,000 spread. Okay. In 2008, or actually 2009 at the bottom, that spread actually inverted. Okay. The Dow was actually worth more than the S&P. Okay. But one of the things that gives me belief that there's a big break coming is how far apart they have become. Now they have come in quite a bit. And I do trade that spread. Okay. So, and of course the VIX, we thought 25 might hold. Well, guess what? I guess we're back to our 20 level. Okay. Or on our way there. Right. Because there is no volatility. Nobody cares. Everybody's just selling options once again. Okay. Now again, we know how that resolves, but remember, okay, we were having the same conversation a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Who knows time? I could look. Okay, when we were at 14, okay, and then we were at 10 before that. But so what we have seen over a longer term, even though it doesn't feel like it, volatility has been gaining. Okay, but again, when you get used to it at a certain price and then it drops, it's like, hey, well, it's down at 20. Well, 20. When it was at 10, we would have been happy it was at 20. I'm sorry I didn't give you the right. You are as usual right. I didn't give you anything. I gave you nothing. Okay. Russell is going to be 1850 to 2000. 1850 to 2000. Sorry, Dirk. You didn't even call me a jackass, but you must still be a little under the weather. Anyways, all right. Apple, Alpha, Papa, Lima. Okay. And of course, we're still long Apple, and it's kind of holding, right? I said I didn't know that it can get. I suck. Oh, that's back to normal. Okay. Now, but I'm jackass is more my speed. I told you that I thought we would pause somewhere on 165. Here we are. We got through. We came back. Again, it looks like you're probably up at about 170 is probably you're looking at the next resistance. The trend is certainly higher. Okay. And the only thing that happened is that it got away from that nice smooth to too far straight up. So it's got to go either sideways or come back down. Okay. Now it can go sideways slightly higher, but what's got to happen is the angle at which it's going to continue is going to catch up to it. You just look at any trend, down or up. They're always going to be the same when it's all said and done. If you go, and I'm telling you ahead of time, not after it happened, okay, that the higher the big probability here in Apple is it goes sideways to lower, even though we're long. Okay. Okay. So, anyways, what I say, 170. I'm gonna go 160 to 170 on Apple. Okay. Alpha Golf AG, which we are long, which I told you I thought we'd be getting long. Okay. Which I told you that even though we weren't getting long, if you wanted to gamble, it was a good stock to take a shot at. Okay. Again, it was a well worthwhile shot, but we are now long it as well. Okay. And again, it kind of ties into silver, and the pattern itself looks pretty bullish. Now, again, today's action, even though it was only 40 cents or whatever it was, should consolidate for a little bit here. It's a little bit big. It gets a little higher, but at some point it's going to retrace back. If it's going to continue to be a bullish run, it's going to come back and more hugged it, right? You've heard, if you're using moving averages or whatever you're using, okay, as a benchmark, okay, they're all the same. Bollinger Bands, the whole thing is all about on a mathematical, on the angles in which they travel and on at what speed they can travel at. Okay, in a given day, there's no rules, but over time they're going to always revert back to those types of trading rules. Okay. I didn't give you any levels. Now that I open my mouth, 750 to support, 750 to 9. Okay, so even though we're long now, the levels really haven't changed. Alpha Michael Delta, which we're also long. And again, I told you last week, went up too fast. Well, it continued. Okay, at some point here, it's going to find equilibrium and go sideways at least for a while, even if it's going a lot higher. And I'm not saying it's not going higher. We're long, so I hope it goes dramatically higher. But at some point here, we look at it and we understand that it needs to be more on this angle. Okay, so it needs to either settle and consolidate until it catches up, but certainly for now, 108 would be a resistance level, and I think 95 is support, 95 to 108, and we are long. Amazon, I don't have in yet. It will be in. I got to get it. I got to take something out. It's a lot of work. It's not just somebody, boom, put it in. Okay, but in the meantime, Amazon, okay, looks pretty solid, and of course, this kind of figures right what we've talked about, right? The trend was beautifully higher. You got the big spike up, okay? And what are you getting now? You're getting sideways, okay? So, and it would not surprise me at all to see this trade between 135 and 145, okay? Now, I wouldn't be rushing in to buy. I own it, okay? Full disclosure, it's hedged, okay? I wouldn't be running in to buy at 135. But if you're going to hedge it, again, remember, there's a difference between trading it and hedging it. If you're going to hedge it, buy it wherever you want. Doesn't matter. Okay. If you're going to trade it, I would not be buying it up here. I think the probabilities are more that it's going to come back to 135, if not 125, before it makes its next move up, no matter what. That's, again, just my opinion of how I read this chart. 135 to 145, County. BABA, Bravo Alpha, which we're still short. I just full disclosure, other than in the portfolios, I'm never trading another Chinese stock. Okay. And I mean, never. I don't need them. I'm 65. I don't need to, I'm not looking for anything. I'm done with that crap. Okay. If I'm going to gamble, I got other things I'd rather gamble on than that. Okay. But I'm so sick of what goes on there and what's happening, and with the way they keep books, that I can't deal with it. Okay. That's just me. Again, my opinion is my opinion, and I'm not afraid to share it. But we are short. Okay. And I would suggest that you're probably looking at 88 to 100. Okay. And I would be an aggressive seller. We got to ride back to 100. Okay, 88 to 100. Bido, which we carry no position, and we debated on whether to get rid of it, and I will. I think probably best I'll get rid of it. But again, I know some of you like to trade the Bitcoin without trading the Bitcoin, and again, this is done very well. It looks like you're getting ready to break out. A very key level, $15 is going to be a key number here. If it gets through 15, it probably own to 20. Okay, so again, I own it. Okay, I own it from higher too. So just I always give you the facts. I own it from a lot higher myself. Okay, and it is what it is. Okay, but I think it's got a chance to go a lot higher. But this is a great way to play the crypto if you don't want to get involved in the crypto wallet. Now, you know, Tradier is going to have shortly. In fact, I'm having a meeting with them this week. Okay, they're going to have real cryptos. You know, not the representation or the ETFs or the futures, but cryptos that trade 24 hours. Okay, and they're going to be able to use this margin against the rest of your account as well. So that's coming out very soon. Okay, so that if you want to wait and trade into that space, and then we'll cover once we can all trade them without having to go into, you know, the cold wallet and the cold storage and all the other stuff. You know, we'll look at it. But in the meantime, for today, I think 14 and I think 15 is the key to watch. 14 looks like support. If you can get through 15, I think it's going to 18 to 20. Okay. And look at what happened to BitQ, as I said last week. Bitcoin soup, remember? I said this was not bearish action. It was more bullish, and certainly enough, it broke out. Okay. I would think your next level to watch would be 10. Okay. And again, we carry this in no portfolio either. It's just, I try to give you some representation of the crypto world. There is one we do carry, which we'll get to later. But I think you're looking at probably 8 to 10 right now. But this was, I think, what, $40 at one time, like that? $35, $36. Okay. So we'll see. Chewy, which we do have, and we are still on, and again, it's breaking out again. So notice, again, if we go back just to the simple basics, let's just say the trend started from here. Okay. Well, what do we expect now? Right? It got up too far here. Okay, it consolidated sideways for a while, broke back down right to a support level where it should have, and now it's taken off again. So what would be our expectations? Well, our expectation would be that somewhere around 42 should be some support. Okay, and resistance probably doesn't come until 50 now. Okay, and I would make it 42 to 50. Okay, now again, it's gone up a little bit too fast. Certainly, I could look. You know, if it was something to do. If I was looking for something to do, I certainly might consider, even though I'm long in my portfolio, I might consider selling some call spreads in this. Okay, assuming that it's going to either sit sideways or come back down a little bit. Okay, 42 to 50. Coin. Look at what happened here. My goodness gracious, we're long this too. Okay, Charlie Oscar, India, November. At earnings, oh no, earnings are out, right? What was the purpose of it went up? I don't even know why it went up. It went up crazy on Thursday, which I butchered. Just I give you full disclosure of everything. Okay, I got out of my extra call. I'm still long at my hedging portfolio, but I butchered a trade we have on from Saturday because I didn't even think about it. And somebody said it was up 35. And that's where I get out. And it was up like $35. I got out when it was up like 27. Okay. But again, once again, today it popped, but there's something going on here, obviously. Okay. Because you're seeing some heavy volume you saw, and you're seeing some more activity. So we've broken out of this consolidation band. I'm gonna have to call it neutral forever because earnings are this week. And again, there's no reason to get in front of anything tomorrow, I guess. So after tomorrow, but we're long, we're bullish, and I'm bullish anyways. Okay. BlackRock bought the stock. I'm sure they did. They always buy rock bottom. Okay. There you go. Thank you. There's your answer. Okay. And you can bet if BlackRock don't chat no losers. I think they bought my daughter's company too. It was the Medline was the biggest independently owned in the world of a pharmaceutical house. Okay. DraftKings. Did I give you levels? I don't think I did. I said no, neutral because earnings. Okay. DraftKings. Now, they had earnings. It's football season, but I don't put any weight into that. Okay. To me, there's something more going on here. Okay. This action started, suddenly we went from real crap volume and you had a little bit of a pop back here. Then suddenly at earnings, which makes sense, but you had higher volume, higher pricing, and suddenly my opinion is they're in play. Okay. That's all I can think of. Okay. The stock is worthless other than that. Okay. You know, I own a ton of it. Okay. And not happy about it. Okay. But it has obviously came from back from $10. So I'm happier about that. But to me, there's something going on here. And when we get the pen, you'll see the same kind of action. I think these stocks are maybe in play now. I think the casino industry is getting ready to start to consolidate. I think that, you know, with the vote coming up in November for California to legalize gambling, I think that the casinos here, you know, right now, when you're in Vegas, you get screwed, right? They don't give you all those crazy procs you can get anywhere else. You can't use those apps that are not here. You can only use them in the state you're in, right? They're all geo what is it called? Geolocation, whatever it is. But anyways, I think that Vegas is now getting ready to open up, and because they see the money that these states are creating, and Vegas hasn't gotten hurt either, but there's more. Okay, now I think we get to the greed factor. So I think these might be in play. Okay, in the meantime, I look at this at 1650. Now again, I'm not buying any more right now. Okay, I own enough, but to me it's 1650 to 20. Okay, and we are long. Okay, Meta, Facebook. Okay, piece of crap. Okay, I hate Zuckerberg too. And by the way, did you see that they're cutting more jobs again too, as is Walmart? Okay, so as much jobs are out there, there are some that are cutting. Okay, so we're still short this, and again, you're kind of at the key level right here. This is the drop is too fast. The rally isn't in play. It's right where it should be. Okay, so the question is does it fail at 170 to 175? Okay, and then head back lower and stay within the downtrend, or is it going to turn around from here and break to the upside? Well, until further notice, I'm going to say that it's going to break to the downside. The trend, nothing here has shown me that this trend is going to change. Okay. Can it? Sure, it can change. Listen, it doesn't need my permission. It can change anything. But when I look at this chart, nothing here says I got to be a buyer. Okay. So for today, 175, 160. Okay. First Solar. Somebody said this looked like a good short today on the blow-off top. Okay. Anyways, First Solar we're long. Okay. And obviously earnings exploded. And then it exploded again today for whatever, obviously some news. Got up to 114. I hope you shorted it, kid. I missed it, but I saw it was too late, but obviously there's some news surrounding this stock. You know, stocks don't make these kind of news unless there was a short squeeze, but you would have to have assumed, okay, that they got out of the squeeze here, okay, when it consolidated. So this to me seems like new business, okay. So there must have been some bullish announcement that drove this like all the way to 115 almost. They closed it at 106, okay. So in the meantime, we're long, okay. I would suspect that 104 is going to be support, and obviously I got to put 115, 104 to 115. Okay. GDX, which had a nice little move. Now, again, see, we've talked about this before. Here's where you might start seeing some of these, you know, these miners and some other things start to look a little bit better. Okay, which could be the driving factor to push the metals as well. Okay, now. Okay, we're still short GDX as well, but certainly now it is in position to potentially break out. It also held, you know, it popped a little bit and held inside of in kind of midway in between. To me, this is like 26 to 27, but I wouldn't be at this price. I'm not an aggressive short anyways. Okay, I'm short, but not aggressively. You know, again, to me, this doesn't move enough. I don't trade it much except in the portfolio, but I wouldn't be doing much anyways. But I do think it's got a greater chance to break up and certainly go back to 40, which is the side I'd like to play on. Okay. Anyways, 26, 27, very tight. Yeah. Google, okay. This is not yet in, but it will be eventually. Again, look at it. It's just consolidated. Okay. It's just churning between 104, 105, and 117. 104, 105, 117. Bum, bum, bum. So logically, what would we be doing here? What would be the best position to take here? Okay. And if you were looking at it, what would be the position you would be thinking of taking here? Okay, this is a trade, not as a lifetime achievement award. This is a trade. What would you think of doing here? Sell it. I sell call spreads. Okay. That's what I did. I actually own the stock, right? It's in my portfolio, but I sell some call spreads. Listen, if it breaks above and goes, so be it. I'll lose. Okay, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about the losing. Okay, I just think that it's shown that it's stuck for the last 3 months at 104 to 117. So why shouldn't I try to take advantage of that particular pattern? And if it's wrong, what's the worst that can happen? I'll make less on the way up. So not so bad. Yeah, 104 to 117. Actually, you can even go 112 if you want. Okay. GLD, which we added last week. Okay, and we are long it in the portfolio. I think it's 165 to 170. Okay. And again, it could be getting ready to go. This is not as negative activity as has been recently. Goldman Sachs, Gulf Sierra. Volume has been very light here, unusual. Okay. But as I look at it, okay, it looks like it went up too fast, consolidated, and here we're going up again. Okay. Now, you're probably, this is going to be kind of tricky. But if we use this, okay, trajectory, okay, you still have some room. It's still a little bit too far from where it should be. I would suspect that 340 is going to be probably a high for a while, okay, before it meets and comes back down, okay, or goes sideways. Again, it can consolidate, okay. Again, it doesn't have to come down, okay. We're still long bonds, yes. And all the markets, yes. Yes. Okay. So again, for my money, okay, we're long this, but I think you're looking at probably 325 to 340. IWM, India Whiskey Michael, once again, probably escaped a little bit too bad. It's probably going to have some resistance around 196, I would suspect. And I think you're looking at probably 188 to 196. We're still long. And I would suspect you're going to see some pullback here. But again, I don't think that's bearish. I think that's bullish. Okay. Remember, in an uptrend, you want to see pullbacks to support. Okay. In a downtrend, you want to see rallies into resistance. Okay. Las Vegas Sands, which we don't have any position yet, haven't traded yet, but to me, it looks like, again, kind of consolidating. To me, it's like 37 to 40. Okay. I didn't do anything in this yet, but tomorrow I'm gonna look at maybe selling some put spreads in here just as a trade. Again, I'm going to assume that this is going to hold. This is the top end of a breakout. Okay. And the breakout was too steep. So sideways is the answer. And if I can look at it as a potential uptrend, it should hold somewhere in here. So it's just something I'll look at. 37 to 40. Mara, Michael Alpha, Romeo Alpha, which we do have a position and we are long and it is breaking out. Okay. And again, remember, look at it. See how consistent that pattern is when you see it. Okay. Very rarely. I had some of the door. What at the G stocks? So you need Google and GDX and gold. Is that the three you need? And Goldman Sachs. You need all four? Just let me know. I'll give them to you. I may even still remember. Okay. I got to help Connie. GDX was 26, 27, nothing to do. Google was 104 to 117. Gold, GLD 165 to 170. Goldman Sachs 325 to 340. And we're short GDX, no position in Google, long GLD, long Goldman Sachs. And now we're in IWM, which is 188 to 196. You got Las Vegas Sands, we got that. So Mara, it broke out. So now I have to assume that $14 is support. And my next true resistance is probably $16 now. Again, obviously, we've seen how crazy these stocks can get. Okay, when this is all to Bitcoin. Okay, that's the whole kit and caboodle comes down to what Bitcoin's doing. Okay, so but they do look pretty good. We are long, and for here, I'd say 14 to 16. Neo, November, India, Oscar, which we're still long, and again, it's really just stuck in this range. Okay, I think you're still 19 to 21. Nougat, it can't seem to break out. But who does this look like? This looks like what pattern? Which one did we saw today? Which one does this look like? Anybody remember? We are short this, by the way, but just anybody remember what this looks like? You paying attention? It was very early. It was still in the pregame. Looks like wheat. I'm not going to waste your time. Okay. But it looks actually a little bit better than wheat because it's actually trying to lift off here. Okay. This may have found a bottom. Again, we're still short for the moment. It could be changing later, but right now we're short for the moment. I think you're looking at right now. I would not be a seller, by the way, right now, but I think you're looking at 27 to 33. Okay. NVIDIA. I hope Nancy Pelosi's out. I'm sure she's out. God forbid she would miss being right. Okay. I don't know what the news was here, but suddenly they bought us NVIDIA a couple of weeks ago, made a fortune, and now they cracked it out. Obviously there was some news. This was a news event. It is my opinion, okay, that it was probably a buy. Okay. We are already long it, but I think it was a buy as a trade down here. Okay. Again, blow off didn't really hurt the stock that much when you think about it. I mean, really into support. I think you're looking at probably, 170 to 200. Penn, which is the other one I was talking about, also had earnings, also has had an increase in volume. And again, Penn is bar stools, okay, and a lot of the East Coast tracks, okay. DraftKings is fantasy football, VSiN, and a lot of the Midwest to West. I mean, they both go all over, but but to me, both are in play. That's why we're seeing sudden movement, not because of their earnings, but both are in play. They've given away far too much money. To me, I don't care if they say they made money or not. It's virtually impossible to have made money with as much as they've spent in their acquisition costs. But either way, my eyes say that these are in play. Okay. In the meantime, for our sake, we are still short Penn for the moment. Well, they'll be short later. But right now, I'd say 34 to 40. Okay. The Qs, Quebec. Again, a little bit too fast on the uptake, which is why we're consolidating. We're still long. I would look at this probably 315 to 330. Okay. Roku, Romeo Oscar Kilo uniform, which we're short, had a nice hell of a bounce at the bottom. I don't see much more of this. Again, it could change and make me look bad, but I mean, certainly 85 is probably resistance. This rally's been on zero volume. It actually came off of a beautiful blow off to the downside. I did not trade any of it, but it did bounce. But look at it, it just declines in volume every day. I would be looking at 85 to be probably a seller. Okay. And certainly again, if we just use our 45-degree angle, here we are. We'll see. So to me, it would be 75, 85. Square Dance, Sierra Quebec had earnings. Stock has been performing nicely. Okay. It really popped. And I don't know what happened today. It was up and then suddenly I know it was down, but look where it's at. And again, here we go. You can follow from where I drew in last week or a couple weeks ago. And there you are. So naturally consolidation until, okay, it makes a decision if it's going to go up again or farther. It's certainly a key resistance level, which is 90. I think you're looking at 85 to 90. I own it. We're long it. I got it in my retirement account. I think it's going higher. But again, I could be wrong. Again, I'll be happy to reverse. And I'm hedged in my retirement account, so it doesn't matter. SPY, Sierra Papa Yankee, and of course, what did we say last week? Up too fast, more than likely going to consolidate. What's happening? It's consolidating. Okay. And again, I think it's getting just tighter. I think you're really looking at 407 to 420. 407, 420. There's nothing else. Okay. No magic. Tango, Quebec is steadily going higher. We don't carry a position anymore. But as I said a couple of weeks ago, it's one that if you were going to take a shot to the long side, you could try to play this because, as it gets higher in price, if we continue the rally, the multiplier gets bigger and bigger. That's the magic of these leverage ETFs. That's also the criminal side of these leverage ETFs. Okay, that's where they get you all these fees, and they got to reverse split it and all this crap. In the meantime, as I look at this chart, I'm going to say that probably you're looking at 32 as some support, and you're looking at probably just under 40, probably 38 right now with some resistance. Tesla, I guess they're going to split. Was it 3-for-1? Is that the split in Tesla? It's not enough if that's what it is. But I heard it was, I think, 3-to-1. Okay, I don't know why that caused some selling pressure the other day when the announcement came out. But 3-for-1 is not enough. I don't know why they don't go 10-to-1 or whatever. I mean, again, it would make it a much more palatable and tradable stock. But hey, again, I don't make the decisions. I just trade them, and I don't trade Tesla because I got tired of losing my ass shorting it, even though I should be long it sometimes. In the meantime, 840 to 960. Okay, we carry no position in it. When Whiskey Yankee November. Okay, which we are still long, and again breaking out nicely. Okay, again, a little bit too fast. Okay, so you expect sideways. Got earnings coming this week. We'll see. Okay, right now, just raw, I would be looking at this 65 to 70, 63 to 70, somewhere around there. XBI, which we carry no position in, but look at that. Okay, now if this ain't a short for a trade, not for permanent, okay, just as a trade, it's way too fast higher. I would never just buy puts here. Just again, if I were going to short this, I would only short it through call spreads. Okay, 825, thank you. I would only be a seller of this through call spreads. I'd want to collect the premium and limit the amount of risk I was taking. Okay, but it's going way too fast up. Okay, which means that more than likely, even if it's going to go higher, it will consolidate first. Okay, and of course, Zoom, which is earnings coming up in a couple of weeks, I think. We don't carry positions anymore, but it looks okay. I mean, look, it's bouncing off the bottom. It's found some ascending. It's kind of holding a new level. To me, I'd look at this and I'd say, probably 105, okay, to 120. 105 to 120 would be what I'd be watching. Okay, and I would have no problem trading either side of this market at those levels. Okay, now when I say that though, just remember that how did it get to the next level? Okay, those aren't, when I give you a number, they're not blanket that automatic in those numbers, because why? Because we don't know how it got there. Okay, if it got there in a hurry, I'd be going the opposite way no matter what. If it got there steadily, I'd be more inclined to want to make that trade. Okay. All right. Any questions from any of my fellow pals here? Okay. Any stocks I'm going to look at real quick? Okay. You got a little time, so if you got stuff, I got stuff I can look at. If not, I'll kiss y'all goodbye, and I'll see some of you in the morning for trading live. Of course, in Vegas, we got Boeing and Lulu. And Boeing, I think, is a dead duck like the rest of the airlines, but looks pretty good now, coming up nicely. Okay. Again, they seem to have solved their issues. Okay, they're trending nicely higher. Obviously, I think that probably I don't carry a position here, but I think 160 would be fine to buy it. If you're going to hedge it, you can buy it anywhere. I think you'll probably see a little bit of resistance about 175 if it gets that high. Yeah, it looks much better. Okay, I get there. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. I get to them all. I promise. Lululemon. What is it? About 9,000 now? Shit. How did they ever make any money? God, look at this. Jesus. I never thought they could get over 40. They got to 500, I think. Anyways, from here, after the big sell-off, it looks pretty good, actually. Okay. I don't get it, but again, I don't wear yoga pants. So, certainly 310 would be a spot to buy if you ever played this. I don't play it, but certainly reasonable. Okay. LCRX, Lima, Romeo, Charlie, X-ray. I know somebody who works there. This stock was huge up and it got smacked, and then it went huge up again. Look at this. Okay. It looks pretty good. Okay. This is pretty key right here, about 520. Okay. You can see it failed. Look, I think this stock looks great. Okay, from where it came from, I think 490-ish. You know, again, you're probably hedging it though, so it's all good. Or you're trading it. I mean, I wouldn't be actively trying to short it here. And you see all the volume comes on the upside and very little on this on the downside, but I'm sure you're probably shorted, knowing you. Okay. And Charlie Golf Charlie. I mean, it looks okay at $3. I mean, you really see this is what happens. This is your government at work. Okay. Tilray, Canopy, and all the others, okay, Curaleaf, that were very viable businesses and players got screwed because our government will not legalize marijuana. Okay. You buy this, you're saying you're taking a shot that it's going to be federally legalized before they go broke. Okay. I mean, this is like a penny stock. I don't trade anymore. We don't even cover it anymore. But that's what I would say to you. Okay. Want to gamble? Hey, I got no problem with it. Okay. I have no problem taking a shot that something good happens. But, you know, again, just look where it's come from. Look at what's happened to it. Okay. From the peak. Okay. It just constantly goes down. Why? Because, again, until it becomes federally legalized, and it's not going to, I don't think it's going to become legalized until the big guys are ready to take it over, and these guys will be bust. Okay. RBLX. Great call. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I try hard. RBLX. I mean, I don't know. I mean, look, the stock's got hammered from where it was, but it certainly looks like it's recovered. I think that you got to get, in my eyes, if I were going to look at this, I'd have to get through 50 here before I'd even think of buying it. To me, you got to break through 50, and then I want to look at it. I wouldn't buy it until then. It's got earnings also coming. 50 is my number to watch if I were going to play it. Okay. Until then, I do nothing unless I'm hedging it. Then it doesn't. Again, hedging replaces anything else. Okay. My Speedo, yeah. I wear a Speedo with my boots by the pool. Okay. I have a private backyard. Okay. Coke, you want? Is that COKE or Coca-Cola KO? Okay. I'm not sure. I'm assuming you mean KO. Oh, you mean actually Coke itself. Okay, got it. Charlie Oscar Kilo Echo. Oh, Coca-Cola Consolidated? I don't know. I mean, looks okay, I guess. Looks like it's found some support at about 500. Okay. You own this thing? I mean, it doesn't trade. It's pretty much illiquid. Okay. It's pretty illiquid. I mean, I wouldn't trade it. I mean, any stock that only trades 80,000 shares a day, what are you going to do? Okay. I would never trade this. Okay. Too illiquid for me. The main Coke is KO. That's the main Coke. That's the one. If that's what you're looking for, this is Coca-Cola. Okay. That's why I asked. See? Okay. Yeah, this is the main Coke. Okay. Now this has got the volatility of a net. It don't do much one way or the other. Okay. I mean, it's another one I wouldn't trade, but Warren Buffett made billions in it. Okay. The whole state of Georgia, you can only buy Coke. You can't buy Pepsi there. So, you know, I mean, again, it's a pretty good dividend payer, I think. Okay. I don't have anything to do with it. From a trading standpoint, it's kind of mid-range, right? To me, look, if you're going to hedge it, you can buy it, but it's not very volatile either. So that's kind of up to you. Okay. All right, kids. Well, that's it, I guess. So have a great week. Just be careful. Look, we haven't gotten out of not the downwards. We haven't gotten out of the space. Okay, hold on. I get that one. That's another piece of crap that I did. I owned it one time or another. Yeah, I thought that was going to be a big winner. Honest to God, I thought that was going to be a big one. Look at this penny stock. I don't know. Well, they're horrible. I mean, they just go down. I mean, it was $60 at one time. Okay. I can't buy this. Okay. That's what I'm saying. I can't buy these. Okay. You can buy them. But if you're buying these, you're gambling, which is fine. Okay. If you understand and recognize the fact that you're gambling, okay, great. Okay. But that's what you're doing. Okay. You're gambling. Thank you very much. You're welcome. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Look, I enjoy it. I like teaching. I want people to be educated, which is why I do the events that I do. Okay. So look, again, we're not at the point where the markets are going to go crazy yet. Okay. We're at the point that we're still very quiet. Okay. It's like we're on the edge And certainly something could push us much higher, but something more likely could break us from here. But if you're aggressive here, you can only get hurt. You're not going to benefit by aggression. This is not a market that has enough liquidity and volatility to make any money if you're too aggressive. Okay. So please just be careful. Don't put yourself in jeopardy. Okay. I expect what the action during the day wasn't bad. Okay. The trading action during the day wasn't bad. It just at the end of the day, now that I look at it, but it was not bad at all. The trading action during the day. Okay. Pretty good day. We had a good morning. Made it over 1,000 this morning on the call. So, I mean, obviously if you're trading the big ones, if you're trading the micros, you did not, but again, made a lot of money. I mean, you had two big winners, gold and crude. All right, kids, have a good week and just be careful. That's all. That's my only warning to you right now is be careful. That's what you got. A careful market. All right, kids. Adios. Have a great